Alright guys, welcome to my tutorial. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial in C Sharp, and I'm going to show you how you're going to create a measurement conversion calculator. So let's go ahead and start. Open up Visual Studio, and you're going to want to go to File, New Project, and let's go ahead and create a Windows Form application, and let's name it Conversion. Okay, now that we have our form application opened up here, first thing we're going to want to do is right click here and click Add New Item, and we're going to want to create a class. So let's call our class Conversion as well. Okay, once we have our class opened up, first thing we're going to want to do in the class is, well, actually not even in the class, outside of the class, we're going to make a enum. If you want to know more about what an enum is, I would recommend checking out the documentation on MSDN. It has very good documentation. Basically what it is similar to a custom type that you're creating, custom data type, and it's indexed similar to an array. So by default it's going to start at 0 and go up to whatever you created. You can also customize it to say you want it, let's say if you wanted it to start at 1, you could customize it to start at 1 or any number you like. Let's go ahead and do that now. So we're going to do public enum, and we're going to name it distance. Now we're going to add values to the enum. Let's do meters, centimeters, feet, and inches. Just a few of them there. Now we go down to our class. In our class, we're going to make an array. The array we're going to make is going to hold the values of the conversions that we would like to do. So let's go ahead and start that up. So we'll do public static and let's make it a double. The reason that we're going to go ahead and make it a double here is because our values are going to have decimal point numbers, so we'll make it a double. And let's name this one conversion rate, statement conversion rate. Oops, forgot to put the array modifier in there, or the array declaration in there. Basically these brackets here mean that you're declaring an array. Equals new double, double and array. Now we'll add values to the array right away, so we don't need to declare how long it's going to be. So we'll start out with meter, 1 meter, and let's comment it so that we know that it's a meter. Next we're going to go to centimeter. So how many centimeters are in a meter? We have 100. 100 centimeters in a meter. Next we have feet. So how many feet are in a meter? In a meter we have 3.280839.895, and these are feet. And lastly we have inches. So how many inches are in a meter? It's 39 370,0,787,4. And these are inches. Okay. Oops, forgot to add the comma there. And we need to close it here with a semicolon. Okay, so there we go. We have that array there. So now we have our array of the conversion rates. Next thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to write a method. The method is where all the magic happens. This is where all the work gets done. So let's go ahead and create our method. Public. It's going to be a public method so we can use it. Double. And we will call it convert method. And we're going to need to input some values. So first is going to be the value that we need to convert. So we'll make that a double. And we will call it value to convert. Next, the enum we created, we're going to need to take a from unit and a to unit. So let's make a parameter for our distance enum. Distance. Let's call this one from. And distance. And we'll call this one to. Okay, so our method is taking three parameters. The value to convert, the measurement you want it converted from, and the measurement that you want it converted to. Okay, now let's go ahead and write the work for it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and create a double, and we'll call this value to working. And the reason I'm calling it value to work in is because the way that this works, this is the simplest way I've found to do it, is that you take meters and you go from there. So if someone puts in centimeters in feet, you would actually want to convert that to meters prior to doing the change. That way there's less code to write. Otherwise you would end up with a lot of if and else statements, or a lot of if statements, or a lot of switch statements, however you prefer to do it. Okay, so now that we have the value that we're going to be working in, we can go ahead and write the logic for the method. So let's go ahead and start with an if statement. So we're going to write if from is equal to distance dot meters value to work in is equal to value to convert. So you see what we're doing there, right? Basically we're taking the value to work in, or if from is equal to meters, so if we're converting from meters, work in value is equal to the input value. Okay, so that's the first part of the logic. Else, value to work in is equal to value to convert divided by conversion rate and we're going to have to index it. We'll cast our distance to an integer, so that way we can tell which value to go in, which value of these is going to go in, the corresponding values between here, between the enum distance and the conversion rate. So we go ahead here and we cast it. Yep, so there we go. Else, value to work in equals value to convert, so this one here, divided by conversion rate, which are these here, and it's using the corresponding enum type here. by its index. Like I said, it works similar to an array by default, so it's going to start at 0. So whatever index is specified here, that's why we have to cast it to an integer. Okay. Next, we're going to do if 2 is not equal to meters, value to work in equals value to work in times conversion rate, and again we need to cast it to an int. And this time we cast to as opposed to from. So you see the logic here. If from equals meters, value to work in equals value to convert. Else, value to work in equals value to convert divided by the conversion rate. Then it goes down to this statement. If 2 is not equal to distance.meters, value to work in equals value to work in times conversion rate. Okay, and now what we're going to want to return is the value to work in, because that actually ends up being our result in this if statement here. So this method is going to return that value as a double. And that is it. That's how the class is created. All the work is done. Pretty simple, huh? Next thing we're going to do is implement this into our program. You can actually use the same logic for any measurement conversion, not only distance. You can use it for liquid. You can even use it for temperature. You just have to tweak it a little bit for temperature, but you can use it the exact same way for any other measurement. So yeah, let's go back to our form, and let's go ahead and start using this. Let's add a button and 2 text boxes. Text box 1 and text box 2. Line them up a little bit better. Okay, and we'll call our button calculate. Okay, we'll go ahead and double click the button. So let's create an instance of our conversion class. So conversion, converting equals new conversion. And there we go. Okay, so now let's go ahead and call our method. Converting dot convert method. And as you can see, this method takes 3 parameters. So first is going to be the value to convert. So since we had made our nice little form here, we're going to take the value from text box 1 and have it convert that. So we're going to have to convert it to a double. So we'll start out by converting it. To a double. And that's text box 1 dot text. Okay, so that's our first parameter. We're sending it the double value that's going to be in text box 1. Okay, now we're going to need to add the distance from. The distance from is going to be here. So any one of these. Let's do centimeters to inches. Sounds like a good conversion. So what we're going to do is the distance from, it's going to be centimeters. So distance dot centimeters, and then distance to is going to be distance dot inches. Alright, so there we go. And let's put the value in text box 2. So in order to do that, we're going to have to store this somewhere. So let's create a double variable. Let's just call it A. So we're assigning the double that this returns to A, and now we just need to write A in the text box. So textbox2 dot text is equal to A dot toString. And there we go. Let's go ahead and save everything, build it, make sure we don't have any errors. No errors, so let's run it. Okay, let's enter 10 here. And there we go. So 10 centimeters is equal to 3.937007874 inches. So there we go. We created a simple calculator with not much code at all. I want to thank you for listening to my tutorial. Please leave comments, let me know how I did. This is actually the first tutorial I have done, so hopefully it didn't do too bad. And yeah, just give me some feedback. Thanks guys. Have a good day.